Instagrammable outdoor photography has sort of taken over the world of social media. Head to the Explore page on Instagram and you'll most likely find a bevy of outdoor photos. The back of a head at an epic view, a small person in a big landscape, feet dangling from a cliff top. And while there's some that get annoyed by the samey nature of Instagram, I love how it's getting people outside. I've been accused of being a landscape photographer, but really, if there's a sub-niche I'd love to find myself in more often, it's outdoor and adventure. For me, there's little better than being up on a mountain, capturing scale, and inspiring others to get out and explore. I've got an outdoor photography assignment I'm really far behind on, so Jody and I have decided to leave the streets of Manila behind for a couple days and go on a bit of a road trip. We're headed to Banawi, Ifugao to try to grab some images for an outdoor gear brand I do some work for called Eddie Bauer. I got this client years ago, and the best way to get work in the industry, by being the best. Nah, just kidding. I got it from a friend. Never discount the value of networking. Networking is massive. When I was a struggling photographer, I had a network of friends, and whenever we got clients, whenever we got contracts, if it was possible, we would try to share them with each other. And I don't think any of us would have survived without having that network. And like it or not, it's not usually the best photographers that get the work. It's not even the ones that are best at pitching. It's usually the ones that network best. So I'm sitting down in our hotel room in Banawi doing some budgeting. I used to do this every single trip. I'll walk you through what I used to do in terms of trying to figure out if a trip was going to be profitable for me. So basically, first thing I do is I figure out how much that trip's going to cost. Transport, the entire trip we're spending $220 for a rental car. Food here in Banawi is quite reasonable, so I'm spending about $15 a day or $75 in total. The hotel is cheap. You can actually get a hotel here in Banawi for $13 for a double room per night. We're splurging for this big family room because we wanted a little bit of office space, so we're spending $18 a person per night, a total of 90 bucks. Fuel to get here and back is about $40 to $50. And then activities, entrances to waterfalls or viewpoints and stuff like that, I've got 25 bucks budgeted. So in total, this trip's costing about $450. Now, my contract with Eddie Bauer, I think is under NDA, so I don't think I'm allowed to tell you exactly what I'm making. But just for the sake of argument, let's say that I'm earning $400 per photo. So if I can make one photo a day on this trip, that means on average I'll make $310 a day. And to me, that's totally worth it. I used to basically do a trip if I could even make $100 a day profit. So $300 a day profit looks like a really, really profitable trip. And I guess now it's about getting out there and making some photos. On the surface, Banawi itself doesn't look like an outdoors destination. It's gritty, edgy, and full of characters. But it's turned into a hub for adventure-seeking backpackers who brave the often foggy, usually rainy environment in search of trails through rice terraces, waterfalls, and smiling faces. It's the center of a region full of wonders, and it might be the most underrated place in all of the Philippines. Okay, so we made it up to the main viewpoint here in Banawi. I'm not really sure I'm going to be able to get my outdoor photography shots up here, but I do want to scout it out. I want to maybe wander from viewpoint to viewpoint to viewpoint, but I do think that for these photos, it's more likely that I'm going to need to be in the rice terraces themselves, like walking through them, hiking through them, which will probably happen more tomorrow, but let's check out these viewpoints for now. Banawi's home to the largest and most accessible rice terraces in the area, but I'm struggling to find scale, a place to put myself as a model, and just composition in general. Still, it's hard not to marvel at it all. It's hard not to get carried away taking clip after clip, drone flight after drone flight. But with no luck finding an image and some bad weather rolling in, we hiked home. In the morning, that same weather lingered over town, killing any chance at a sunrise shoot. So, patiently, we waited before heading off on another hunt for an image. When we got here, I was feeling like we had so much time. I felt like we had so much time here. And then after getting rained out, washed out this morning, feeling a little bit more stressed about time and getting photos. But we've come to a place called, where are we again? Papaw. And yeah, it's absolutely stunning here. I think even way more impressive than Banawi. Maybe not as big, but definitely more photogenic. To come in here and explore, you need a guide. So we've got Jocelyn with us here. And we're gonna do some exploring and hopefully some photo taking. We're now hiking into the rice terraces. This is incredible. This is far more impressive to me anyway than Banawi, just because there's water in it. It's like a working rice plantation. And yeah, it's just phenomenal. I definitely think we'll be able to get a couple photos in here. I don't know if we'll be able to get those outdoor style photos I need, but there's definitely photos in here, maybe of people working the fields, maybe just of the rice terraces, and yeah, hopefully some for this client as well. Papaw had been a little bit of an afterthought for us. The only reason we came here in the first place was because of bad weather in Banawi and Batad. But it turned out to be a gem. Photogenic terraces, friendly people, an amazing guide who loved her teeth-reddening betel nut.
Put together betel nut and leaves, then the lime, we chew it, then we feel warm.
We're getting rained on pretty good, so the light's not great, but we've come to this really amazing part of the terraces that they've just planted over the past couple of days. And I've been looking for a spot like this the whole time we've been here, where you can actually walk along the edge of one of the terraces and I can pose out that way. And I got Jody to take the picture. This is 16 to 35 millimeters. For its usage, it works. And I think we've got 2 photos out of today already, which is great. We planned on only making a short stop in Papaw, but in the end, we hiked for 4 hours. It all culminated with a stop at some hot springs the locals use to warm up after long days in the rain and on the fields. And sure, I got a couple shots I like, but I feel like I'm still missing that truly epic Instagrammable, quote, "you wish you were here" image with an epic bit of light. So, we caught some sleep, waited out some more morning rain, and then headed to yet another location. One which we've been promised has the most epic views in the area. I think Instagrammers kind of get a hard time. Sure, a lot of the photos look a lot alike. There's not a whole lot of thought behind the composition of the photos themselves. But most of the really good Instagrammers, they actually work really hard. You see maybe one photo every couple days, but the reality is they might spend 1, 2, or 3 days trying to find that photo, getting to the destination, finding the perfect spot. Case in point, Jody and I had heard of this set of hot springs down in the valley, so we hiked. But after a long downhill slog, we found the hot springs lacking something incredibly important: water. I had visions of this shot from within the hot springs looking out at the river and the rice terraces. But obviously that couldn't happen. And I'm struggling to capture the mood, the beauty, the vibe. It's beautiful here, It's photogenic, but no matter where we hike, no matter how many photos I take, none of them really have that outdoor travel Instagram look I've been hoping for. So we hike back up and we hike on. We're giving one last spot a try here, which is Batad, and Batad is probably the most popular of all the rice terraces in the area. We haven't seen a whole lot of tourists at all. Just walking down here, we've seen dozens. So this is the tourist spot, and often the best shot is from the tourist spot. So we're gonna check it out. Yeah, Batad is epic. It's the type of place that'll leave you awed, floored, and totally inspired at the same time. It's the type of view that can leave you feeling stuck, just staring at the beauty of it all. It's grand, it's spectacular. Hundreds of terraces carve the mountainsides for a couple hundred feet. Miniature people work in the fields below. A palette of greens and yellows play in the occasional rays of sunlight. But is there a photo here? Can I finally get that perfect image for my client? I'm not so sure. It's about 45 minutes until sunset. We've been hanging out up top, having lunch, getting some drone shots, and kind of just relaxing and enjoying the view. And to be honest, I'm kind of feeling like I might have made a big mistake in trying to shoot these client images here, because this place is unreal, absolutely beautiful for big, wide, panoramic images or landscape photography or stuff like that. But as soon as you put a person in it here, it becomes really, really difficult. There's really nowhere for people to stand in a photo that doesn't look like you're in a town. And when you're down on the rice terraces, it's hard to show the scale of it all. So I'm struggling with this, and like I said earlier, I probably only got 2 or 3, maybe 4 images for the client here. So we're hiking now down into the rice terraces at Batad itself and hoping to get maybe 1 or 2 more images for this trip. So I think I got a photo there, so definitely not a waste. And I think the beauty of being a travel photographer is there's no waste, because even if you don't get photos, you usually get days like this that are just beautiful. What do you guys think of the new format of the videos? Definitely, definitely different. And I'm obviously still getting the hang of it. I'm still trying to figure out what angles I want to take. I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate more photography lessons, how to teach that photography. And I'm trying to show you a little bit more behind the scenes as well. So it's a process, and I'm getting used to it, trying to figure out my new style or how I want my new style. So bear with me as I learn and as we progress and as this channel evolves, because I think it will lead to good things. And that's it. I guess I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.